Hey guys, Antonym here, and welcome back to another Minecraft video, and this is Hunt for the Golden Apple, episode 29. And as you guys have probably already noticed, this isn't live commentary again, and the only reason why this isn't live commentary, despite all the feedback that I got in the last episode to do live commentary, is that this episode was filmed at the same time the last episode was, and I didn't want to go cutting it out. But anyways, if you guys haven't checked out my main channel already, I do daily Minecraft content on a very consistent basis. I haven't cut off yet from it, so be sure to check that out. Link will be in the description below. But anyways, what I want to talk about in this video are some of the plans. I know I briefly mentioned these in the previous episode, but I want to talk about them in this episode as well. And what that is my plans for Hunt for the Golden Apple in 1.8 and afterwards. And yeah, so what I plan on doing with Hunt for the Golden Apple, if 1.8 truly does come out on September 8th, which I believe is, as of this video going out, is tomorrow, then if the new world generation happens the same way, like the way that I suspect it to, and that's that any new maps will be the only maps that will spawn new content, and any old maps will spawn, you know, content as they would in 1.7 and afterwards, then this series will be paused for a while until I can figure out what I'm going to be doing with it, unless I end up figuring out what to do with it, you know, before the next episode is due. But otherwise, I'm just going to end up releasing some 1.8 related content, you know, to fill the time gap for my Hunt for the Golden Apple series. But yeah, I've been getting a couple comments lately because the way that I perceived that the 1.8 world generation was going to happen is that, you know, the only like the old maps would spawn old content and new maps would be the only ones that would spawn new content. And what people are telling me is that no, it's only like the new chunks that you spawn will spawn the new content, and what you'll get is like sheer cliffs and stuff. And I think this, you know, this might be the case. I mean, when the transition from Minecraft Alpha to Minecraft Beta, or I should say like Minecraft Alpha 1.1, like basically before biomes existed, when it was just all, you know, regular dirt land with just sand on beaches and stuff, for those of you who have been playing Minecraft for quite a while, the world spawned a little bit differently than it does the way it does now, you know, with biomes and stuff. I think if you encounter a snow biome, it spawns drastically differently than it would have otherwise. But if you're in just like a forest biome, you know, compared to what it was in the alpha days of Minecraft, it spawns generally the same. And actually, I spawned my Hunt for the Golden Apple map in an alpha version of Minecraft. Don't ask how I did that, because I won't tell. But it spawned like the chicken and cobra structure that are really near the spawn point. Those spawned. They were still there. They just weren't as tall. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But I honestly think that, you know, people may be right in saying that only new chunks will spawn new content and in the new update. And if that's the case, then what's more than likely what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to find a new area to permanently settle down in the Hunt for the Golden Apple series, assuming that you can find golden apples within the new style of dungeons. And this brings me to my next topic, I suppose, and that's, well, it's not really a topic, like, it's more or less like a feedback thing. I'm not really sure if the old style dungeons are going to spawn at all, like mixed in with the new style dungeons within the 1.8 update. Like, as far as I think, and this is just purely speculation, I have no idea if it's correct, but I think that old dungeons may be gone for good and they're replaced by the new style dungeons. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be a part of the beta 1.8 update or the 1.9 update. At this point, I have no idea how they're going to end up being split up, because I know that not all of the content is going to come with Minecraft Beta 1.8. Notch or Jeb, I believe, specifically noted that 1.8 and 1.9, you know, they're just going to be two separate updates, like, so you're not going to get everything in 1.8. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, like I said, as far as the Hunt for the Golden Apple series goes. And, yeah, I'm going to try and, you know, figure out all this information as fast as I can to try and, you know, see if the Hunt for the Golden Apple series is still going to be a viable series or not. And, so let's just go with the, you know, the worst case scenario. If the worst case scenario is if the old maps spawn new content and the new dungeons don't have golden apples, then the series will be done. It'll be absolutely done. I'm not going to continue the series in a 1.7 format. That would just seem silly. I would get comments in every episode from people saying, like, why are you still in 1.7? I mean, I very well could run it in 1.7, but that's the worst case scenario. If the new dungeons don't spawn golden apples within them, I guess a matching worst case scenario is if they are very common. I mean, if that was the case, then I would just end up, continuing the series until I ended up finding one, which wouldn't take very long. Like if they became as common as something like saddles or something, then the series wouldn't last very much longer. But I would just end up going with that. And the third scenario, I suppose, is if 1.7, like my original speculation, if 1.7 maps spawn the same way as they would right now, like if they only spawn with the old content and you're not going to get any of the new dungeons, the new biomes, more than likely the new mobs would end up spawning because the mob generation shouldn't really be dependent on how the world looks, I guess, from like a coding standpoint when you think of it like that. So, yeah. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see what happens. I'm just kind of improvising, talking with you guys right now. And, we'll see what happens from there. But, yeah, so for the rest of the episode, I actually went onto Twitter and Facebook and asked my audience, to give me a few questions to answer for this episode. Because I'm actually filming this the night before that I'm supposed to submit it. And I already had the footage filmed, but I didn't really know what to talk about. Like, all of my thoughts I basically put into episode 28. So yeah, one of the questions that I ended up getting was how many dungeons have I found so far in the Hunt for the Golden Apple series? Now, if I'm being honest, I'm not really sure, and to go back through 28 episodes to try and figure this out would be an absolute nightmare. But if I had to guess, I'd say I'd found 10 so far. Either 10, anywhere between 10 and 15 would be my guess. And for those of you that don't know, golden apples, I believe, have a 1 in 128 chance of spawning inside of a dungeon, or maybe it's 125 or something like that. So I mean, through all the dungeons that I found so far, there's still, like, of the dungeons I found, there was only a 1 in 12 chance I would have found a golden apple. Like, I'd have to find a dungeon, I would have, like, up to this point, being episode 29, I would have had to have found like 4 dungeons in every single episode to pretty much have guaranteed my result at this point. So like I said, I'm not really too sure, but if anyone wants to answer the question, if anyone's hardcore enough to actually remember those kinds of numbers, feel free to leave a comment below. So the next question that I want to answer is, what is the worst experience that I've had in my absolute whole Minecraft history? And, like moments where I was like, oh my effing Jesus, oh my God, I lost all my stuff, oh my God. That was a little bit outrageous, but that kind of gives you like an idea of what I'm talking about. And I'd say the worst experience that I've had playing Minecraft was probably back when I was first starting, and no less. It's when I actually found my very first dungeon. Now this is, keep in mind, this is way back when I played on peaceful mode, and I still managed to screw this up. But back when I played on peaceful mode, on my peaceful mode map, which I actually demo a lot on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. But my worst moment was when I found my first dungeon and I had found my first saddle and green record. And so, like, I ended up finding these. I was really excited. Like, I didn't know how rare these records were, but I hadn't seen them before. So I'm like, oh my God, this is so awesome, man. And at the time, I played Minecraft totally 100% legitly. So, finding these was really quite cool. And on my way back from the area in which I found them, because it was deep within this massive cave system, I actually ended up, like, have you guys ever found one of those moments where you're trying to leave a cave system and you just always end up going down? Like, you can't find a way up. It's just, no matter what path you choose, you go down. Like, you say to yourself, okay, whatever path that goes up next, I'm gonna go. And you go, and then it goes down. It's like, that's kind of what was happening to me. So after about 10 minutes of going around, I ended up tripping and falling in the lava, and I lost all that stuff. Like, my very first dungeon's loot, I think, was a saddle, a green record, and that was about it. But still, I mean, at the time, that was a huge accomplishment, and I ended up losing all of that. So I'd say that's probably the worst experience that I've had in Minecraft. And the third and final question that I'm going to answer in this video is what got me into doing this series, and like, how did I end up finding myself in the position where I wanted to search for a golden apple of any and all things to do for a Minecraft series. And it all kind of started when I originally got contracted with Machinima, to make my videos for them. And what I ended up doing, like, at the time, was making RuneScape videos. Surprise, surprise. I was actually making RuneScape Machinima at the time, a series called RuneScape Undercover. And if you guys want to look that up, if you just type in RuneScape Undercover in the YouTube search box, you guys will find it. But but be forewarned, the voice acting sucks in it. I was not that great of a voice actor, and I wasn't really able to get that many people to do voice acting for me. But anyways, so Machinima ended up liking the stuff, and they invited me, for a contract. And once I got contracted with them, I didn't end up making any more RuneScape videos after that point. I pretty much started with Minecraft pretty much almost immediately after I got contracted, I started with episode 1 of Hunt for the Golden Apple, which came, I believe, like mid-February or something like that, earlier mid-February. And I've been doing that ever since. And what got me started into doing the Hunt for the Golden Apple series was I thought to myself, like, I wanted to do Minecraft, and I didn't want to do anything completely over the top, but I also didn't want to do your typical, oh, hey guys, welcome back to another Minecraft video, and I'm going to be mining up some cobblestone today. We're on episode 50, and I still have cobblestone tools. Yay. No, I didn't want to be at that point. I wanted to progress through Minecraft fast and get to where I needed to be fast. So yeah, and like I play Minecraft very fast. As you guys have seen, I think even as early as like episode 4 or 5 in the series, I was already using diamond tools and whatnot, and I think like by episode 10 I ended up having like iron armor and stuff, but I digress. So what was going on at the time was most people were just doing that typical LP stuff, like endless LP stuff on Machinima, and that's actually why Machinima ended up no longer allowing endless series to happen with Minecraft. LPs now have a limit of 10 episodes, which I think is a great thing, because doing this endless LP stuff, I think it's cool, to like having the 10 episode limit is cool, because then you get to introduce yourself as a director, allow this new audience to get used to you, because that's a lot of what Machinima is just, it's like branding other people, like Machinima helps us out, and we help out Machinima as a process, in the process, and we all grow as a community together. And I think it's, it's honestly a great thing. I wouldn't even be remotely close to the position I'm in these days if it wasn't for Machinima. And what topic was I on? Right. Okay. So yeah, everyone was doing your typical LP stuff at the time, and I was thinking to myself, what could I do that would be outside of the norm but not over the top? And I thought to myself, okay, so what's the rarest thing that you could possibly find? Let's go on like a treasure hunt or something. And that's where I came up with the idea with Hunt for the Golden Apple, as I already knew that a golden apple was the rarest treasure in Minecraft, and I went through on various YouTube searches for golden apple, and there was actually very few videos, detailing how to find a golden apple, or, just finding one in general. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 videos at the time that actually even had a golden apple out of a dungeon, just random people's videos, and they just found them at random. It wasn't something that they were really going after. So yeah, that's when I decided that, it would be a good thing. No one had really set that goal in Minecraft, so I thought this is going to be cool, because I was the person who originally thought up the idea to do this. Now, admittedly, obviously I wouldn't be the very first person to ever think up, an LP that had a goal, but at least for Minecraft, it was an original idea, and it was the reason why I ended up doing it. So I had a lot of fun doing that, and it's just been going ever since. I've been having a lot of fun with it. At this point, it has gotten a little bit old, but I think the main reason for that, and if you guys want to comment on this, I think it's because it's weekly. It's a weekly series. It's not a series that I'm doing really often. Like, if I was doing this on my daily channel and doing it like every other day or something, I'd be, at least if I was going at the rate that I was going at now, I'd be at like episode 70 or something, and I'd be, way past the point where I probably would have found a golden apple right by now. So tell me what you guys think of potentially, like I said, if this series ends up being able to still continue, tell me what you guys think of potentially maybe me doing like still weekly on here, but then doing 1 or 2 other golden apple episodes on my main channel. So I'll have like 1 episode go up a week here to let it'll be a normal episode, but then it'll let people know that like, hey, there's going to be 2 more episodes going up on my channel. So like, for example, this being episode 29, if I were to make 2 more episodes, episode 30 and 31 would go up on my channel, and then 32 would go up on here. I haven't really experimented with the idea yet, and I think it might be something that would be kind of cool. But anyways, guys, I know this episode is fairly short at 14 minutes or so, but, I wanted to get my word out there and let you guys know that, the Hunt for the Golden Apple series is probably coming to an end here really soon. We'll see what happens. It all depends on how the updates end up treating me. And if, if it does end, be sure to check out my channel at youtube.com/antvenom. I'll be posting videos on there, daily and, for until the cows come home. So, like I said, it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to be covering the 1.8 update really more than anything in the coming days and weeks and stuff, just because that's going to be everyone's main focus, is what sort of tips and tricks can they get out of the 1.8 update. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. My name is Ant Venom, and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching.